Do not attempt to adjust your speakers. The sounds that you're about to hear are various sounds that come from a human's mouth. So this is what we came with.
Sometimes I don't always forget what stories I tell, but like little things I mention, you read it back or listen it back, you're like, oh yeah.
I listen to a podcast right away because I know I won't go back to it after. So once it's posted, I'm like in the car, like even if I don't have to go anywhere, just in the car, put it on, start listening. And then I'd have to pause it and then I'll come back when I get in the car.
Yeah, and I usually do it pretty quick. But then as soon as this last one was posted, I was like to Christine and Xavier, hey, I want to listen. And then the last episode starts with that story about Christine with the laptop. And she was just like, hey, you sound dumb. And I'm like, no. I'm more saying, like, I started this all off that women are more keen to hearing things because us men are a bunch of dopes that don't care. Someone could break into the house and we would have no idea. He'd still be just snoozing. Just telling her all the
they're
time.
wired to react to things faster than men are, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. But also just, why do guys not, is it because we think we're macho?
Probably.
Like,
Probably. Yeah, we can take that.
It doesn't bother.
It's that part of, I could take that.
It doesn't bother me if I go to bed one night and the house door is unlocked.
It doesn't.
It doesn't bother me at all. Does it bother you?
Yeah, I do find that a little weird sometimes.
Like, is it so bad that it keeps you up at night?
I mean, not really, because I would just get up and go lock the door.
See, I'm all down with that too. Like, I'm able to get up back and forth, no problem. But we're laying in bed and it's like, hey, did you lock the door? Hey, did you bring in the hockey equipment? Hey, did you turn off this? Yeah, is the moon at a 30% retrograde right now? Right, like it's all made sure everything is right, and then finally the brain can turn off. Like,
okay, here's a hilarious part. And I've seen this ever since I've started dating, or ever since I've been with Salome, which is 2011. Literally go out. So the first time I'm trying to take her out for dinner, she's curling her hair in her dorm room, right? And I pull up to the dorm room, and I've been there before, so I know where it is. And I walk in. She's just about finishing curling her hair, and this girl goes around unplugging everything from the wall. The laptop was charging, unplugged it. Her bedside lamp was on, unplugged it. Her curler was in the thing, unplugged it. And I'm like, what is happening?
Yep. Yeah,
she's like, why you have to unplug everything? What did the lamp do? And she's like, I just have to unplug it. And to this day, so there's a speaker in our bathroom that plugs into the wall, so we can turn on Bluetooth, whatever. I leave that plugged in all times. Every morning, she has to go home, or she has to go to work, unplugs it from the wall. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why? Oh, coffee makers unplugged, toasters unplugged. Everything is unplugged in the house. I'm like, what is your problem with leaving things plugged in?
But your energy bill is probably like zero. It's not using any extra power. You're not ever leaving anything turned on.
7 nickels I save are not using them. Yeah, yes, in about 80 years, I'll have $28. Great.
And I don't know why that's the guy's mentality of just like.
And here's how extreme I am with that too. Some days, so I love steamed peanuts. Just raw peanuts, put it in hot water, salt, let it boil for like 4 or 5 hours, and then come back to it. It's just soft and mushy. Love it. It's a thing. It is down south. It's a thing.
Okay.
And down in the States, it's 100% a thing. I've grown up eating.
Okay. That was what I want to clarify too. You always just like, why is it always a brown thing? But I was like, is that also a brown thing?
100% a brown thing.
Okay.
But it's both. That's why I had to preface.
Okay. Oh yeah, no, that's good.
So I would buy raw peanuts, put it on the stove, fill it with water, put the peanuts in, mix it with salt, and it needs 4.5 hours to get softer. I'd leave it on like medium heat and then go home or go to work. Bye, go.
Go ahead. See you later, boss. Wow. Back to the peanuts, please. Rudely interrupted.
And then I would leave it on.
Leave
Leave the stove on medium. It's not like it's crazy. It needs to be in medium for 4.5 hours. And then I just come to the office for an hour or so, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back. She'd pull up to the house for lunch or whatnot. She'd lose her mind. Why is this stove on? Why is there shit on the stove? I'm like, because it needs to cook, and it's gonna take 4.5 hours for it to cook. She's like, you don't leave the house. What if the house burns down? What if the dog dies with the house burned out? And I'm like, it is an induction stove with zero fire. Zero fire is being outputted right now from the stove.
Can you use a slow cooker for your
no, I thought about it, but no, because the water has to be refilled a few times. Like it has to boil. The water has to boil too. And then the slow cooker, you can't like let it steam out. Like it doesn't come to a boiling point where it needs to be as much as what it needs for.
Wow.
I thought about it.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to save your relationship here. So I don't want to.
But no, going back to the point of, yes, we are a lot more low key, or I guess a lot less stressed about things than women are.
That's okay. And that's good. That's why we need them. That's why we need them.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 17. And the first episode of 2025 For the Record podcast. My name is Ronnie Moen Raj.
My name is
here we have J-Man.
That's every single time. I don't know why it's become a thing. Wait, no, I'm gonna get there, Hayden. Wait your turn. It doesn't matter what time of day, what time of year, what the occasion is, where we are. Main man Hayden sees me, and it makes a man feel good. I'm gonna be honest. Walk into a room and I see Hayden. We lock eyes, and he goes, J-Man. And I go, hey. Every time.
And today was the first time I actually encountered this entire interaction myself, and I had to recreate it when Joey walked in.
Get excited.
I was like, I had to get it on the action.
Get excited.
Oh, but
that's good.
Yes, so here we are.
New year,
new you, new podcast. No, well, podcast about 17 week. You know, this is week 17. Week 17 of us doing this podcast. Almost close to half a year of us doing this.
There's 17 weeks. How many weeks are in a year?
52.
So
close to, I said close to half. We're not half yet.
Still 10 away.
That's still good 10. Like we're like half of the half, man.
No. We're close to half.
9 away.
Okay, all right.
It's glass half full, you guys.
Okay,
Come on now.
All right. Okay. So I guess a little bit. Like, yeah, it could be a quote unquote new podcast in terms of some details, but for the most part, we're going to try and do the same things. Our droves and droves of people that are asking
millions
us,
and millions and millions
of people that are asking us to keep things fresh, and but they love what we do. Yeah. And we want to give the people what they want,
100%. And I think this year we've got some ideas to keep it fun, keep it interesting, and also sort of grow the audience base a little bit and try to be, provide value. And it's not just us shooting the shit and talking stuff, but actual provide value where people can take it and apply it to the events that they're planning, right?
Yeah. No, we've said this before that we just like to have conversations about people like to have conversations about events. Music people like to talk about music. So whether this is us just a conversation that we have on a regular old Tuesday over lunch and we're just filming it, or it's a little planned either, or we're enjoying this. So
and I think we should bring in guests. More often. More guests would
be good. Just to, I don't want to get bored with you, Ronnie. I want some. I'm not bored with you.
I can see it's getting there.
Yeah, I'm not bored with you yet.
Yes, but it'll get there.
It will.
It's like a healthy...
It will, especially he wears the same dang outfit all the time. This guy is the same thing. He's trying to pass it off like he's like, well, it's what the successful entrepreneurs do. Mark Zuckerberg wears a gray T-shirt and blue jeans, and he makes $1 trillion.
I didn't say it in the Sesame Street voice.
Well, I know. Okay.
I don't know why that's the thing now.
I know. I don't have a good Ronnie impression, but
I can't believe that's my impression.
well, I don't know. I was more just saying when someone does a Sesame Street impression, it has more to do with the fact that what you were saying was Sesame Street style goofy.
Listen, fashion and me are not a thing. Like we're not. I don't call myself a fashion file at all.
Fashion file. That is not a thing.
A fashion file.
That's a thing. That's a word.
That's a word. FASHIONPHILE. It's a thing.
Fashion file.
Chat GPT it.
No, I'm not chat GPT. I don't want to.
Pull that up.
I don't want to. Hey, can you pull up fashion file? Man, fashion file doesn't sound right. Fashion. It reminds me of Peter Nygaard, and there's a little combo there that I don't like.
Peter Nygaard. It's a word. His reaction says it's a word.
Fashion file. I don't like it. Okay. Anyways, you don't.
Not on any official dictionary from what I can see, but there's a Wikipedia page for it.
Oh, okay.
That's official as it gets.
Yeah.
Oh wait, it's for a website. That's what it is.
What fashion file is a website? So what does website entail?
Used designer luxury items.
Used.
But going back to my point, I buy the same t-shirt from the same place. I have been buying the same t-shirts from the same place since 2018. The same jackets from the same place since 2020. I just feel like it just saves me so much time to think about clothes because I'm like, I can buy a black t-shirt that can apply. I can throw on a suit jacket on top. It works. I can just go with the winter jacket on top. It works. I could just go to bed with it. It works. I just don't want to think about fashion.
No, I understand that, but I don't like the relation that people make that they go, okay, so like I understand you're going to save time, but you're like, okay, well, it's going to give me so much time to be more like successful and such, like all the, you got, what's his name? What's any of those guys? What's the sports guy? Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee will be like, yeah, I just got 8 of the same gray and black t-shirt. And then I don't have to think about it. That gives me more time to crush my goals and pursue my dreams and be successful.
Alex Hormozy, same thing.
Sure.
It's like tank top and jeans and I can wear this and that. I'm like,
it becomes your aura.
But you need your aura. I'm not there. It's just like I don't look good in anything else other than the things that I'm wearing, and I just rather just wear it and having to go try on new things that am I going to look good in or not?
If I was there, if I was a successful entrepreneur, influencer guy, I would probably think the opposite. I'm like, I'm gonna wear lots of different jazz because I can, because I'm a successful person. I'm not Gary V, like hanging out with the same. Oh gosh, I don't know, but I would
a t-shirt and jeans, man. It works. Gary Vee is notorious. He's like he'll pull up anywhere with the same outfit, almost as close to. I think it was a awards gala or a Met gala or something like that. That's when he decided to pull out the suit, and every time else it's just beanie, t-shirt, and jeans. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know. But at the same time, this transitions to. Isn't this funny how we were just talking about having dreams the other day and like you recognize you're like, oh, that person was in my dream. That's crazy. When you see someone in your head, isn't it funny how you also place them in an outfit?
Yes.
Isn't that crazy? Hayden's always wearing that blue toque in my dreams. Mm-hmm. Not that I dream about him. Not that
I. Wait, hold up. Pause.
But even though I just envisioned
it's a regular thing.
It's whoa. I feel like that whole interaction leads to subconscious dreams at night. J-Man, hey, I dreamt about you last night.
I don't want to tell you my morning alarm. J-Man. But everybody has like an outfit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it also, because I work at a gym primarily.
Every time I dream about Joey, he's not wearing a shirt. That's just how that works.
Good. The gym that I work at, right? I see most of those people only in a gym setting. So I only see them in workout clothes. Yeah, I see them out and about. I'm like, wait a second, your hair isn't always in a ponytail. What's going on?
100%.
Are those corduroy pants? How come you aren't squatting in those? What's going on?
And then you see them in corduroy pants once, and then you're like, hold on a second. Why are you wearing corduroy pants in the gym?
Yeah, please put on some Lululemon tights tank top. That's
So, but I just think I can't. I don't think I can. I've tried my versions of different types of clothing, and I feel like I found what works for me, and then I just double down on it. That's basically what it was.
What did you wear on New Year's night? Did you wear like a brightest sparkly?
Nope.
Oh.
Black t-shirt and shorts.
Black t-shirt and shorts.
I was just hanging out at home.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just watching. What was I watching?
Bluey?
No.
This guy watches Bluey with his dog.
I love Bluey.
I know you do.
Bluey's
I'm not trying to shit talk Bluey.
Bluey's great. What are your problem with Bluey?
I
I was watching it with my dog. It was a bonding moment.
No, it's great. I love that you bond with your dog.
Yes.
But Bluey is a funny phenomenon for me. I just think it's hilarious that
Does Xavier not watch? Oh, he's grown out of Bluey.
he's grown out of Bluey. Yeah. No, this guy. He's at a funny age for shows because like we want to start watching certain things, but he's like, it's maybe a little too mature. Like certain jokes, you're just like, oh, this is great. Oh yeah, and then you forget that there's certain jokes in these movies. Like you're like, oh man, we want to start watching some Adam Sandler movies, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, forgot about that one. Okay, just ignore that or whatever.
You know, honestly, what movie that bought me that I was like, this movie needs to be watched in two different age categories, and people will walk away with two different things. Shrek.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch it as a kid.
Yep.
It's cool.
Yep.
You can watch it as an adult. It's a whole nother movie.
It's just great. There's some timeless shows out there. Even just like anything Pixar, anything like that. Yeah, I don't know. I appreciate animated movies. Wait, hold up. Before we get too far into the thick of it of this podcast, we want to stop and hear a word from our sponsors. By sponsors, I mean us. We're the sponsors. Hear ye, hear ye. I, Joseph Rainey Sims, come to you on this podcast to talk to you about Trident Music. We want to be a part of your event and play some quote-unquote bangers, as my podcast co-host would say. We want to run your party and make you have a great time. So visit tridentmusic.ca and we shall play for you the bangers. So yeah, you were just hanging out on New Year's. That was probably a nice change.
That was a nice change. It was supposed to be busier, busy, but that didn't happen.
Yep.
How was this party? How was the socials?
Yeah, I think we had 3 out that night, 2 out that night.
2 out that night.
Which is good. I had a really good social. It was a smaller crowd, but sometimes that's good. Social crowd. There's 3 things that I find influence socials the most.
Yeah.
And it's not the people. It's not the people. Some people say, oh, the people make the party. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
But if you're going to a social, it doesn't really matter what type of people you are. There's always sort of that kind of vibe that's happening. But the 3 things that I find is layout of the hall or the venue, size, less than type of people, like just amount of people, and prizes. Okay? Because prizes, as much as that doesn't affect the party specifically, people will go to socials just for the prizes. If they find out that there's some good prizes, they will.
Because the odds of them getting it is very high.
Well, if there's, it's better than the lottery. Better than the lottery. So, but like we went, here, tell me which social you'd rather go to. Both of these were great prizes. Okay, here's the grand prizes in each one. Okay, first one, $500 to WestJet. Okay, a pizza oven.
Ooh,
pizza oven.
Okay,
with a bunch of like cooking things to have the pizza, extras with it. And then the other one was one of those big old Yeti coolers that cost, I don't know, $1 bajillion, but a big one with 3 cases of beer and some other alcohols in it. Okay. Okay. Here's the other one. A signed Zach Whitecloud jersey. Yes. Very nice. Okay. An Apple Watch with a Best Buy gift card,
Okay.
a PS5. And the other one was just a gift card palooza. It had like, I don't know, it was like $700-800 worth of gift cards to different places. And then was this fancy beer barrel cabinet. It was like a barrel that had space for liquors and whatever like that. If you, either one of those,
Second one.
yeah, the second was better.
Yeah,
but either one, agreed. But if you advertise those in your like social, and tell people, spread the word, like that's going to get people in the door.
100%.
Get people in the door. So
like one of them is worth enough. Like
Apple
Watch and a Best Buy card, easily worth
just
the money that you'll spend on the ticket and the drinks there.
Oh, for sure.
Easy.
Yep. Oh, and that's what I say when I tell people, I'm like, hey guys, the easiest way to support the couple this evening is buy raffle tickets, right? Like you have a chance of winning something, but also like that's going to make these guys the most money. So like support them that way. Drink your faces off if you want to, but that's where you're going to make your money.
Yeah.
So anyways, prizes, huge influence. Okay. Size of people. Okay. It influences the party because small socials aren't bad. They aren't bad. They might not make as much money as the big raging socials, but small groups are sometimes awesome. Just like weddings, right? Small weddings.
Small groups.
You think of like the best weddings you ever done, they probably weren't the 250 person ones.
Right.
They're probably a more like intimate group of, 60, 70.
Right.
So that is highly influential of that. Not to say like a middle ground is not good, but it changes things a little bit. It's maybe not party hardy, but it's a little bit closer knit. You can just tell the relationships are different and la.
And again, also the smaller crowd with a smaller dance floor makes a difference too. It'll feel like it's a packed.
Well, and that too, that's why it connects with venue here. Small crowd, big venue.
Doesn't work. Doesn't work at all.
Not
so
good.
Always, it's a perception thing when it comes to a party like that. It's just, you pack a lot of people into a big venue, it'll still feel like it's an empty venue.
Yeah.
But if pack a small amount of people into a small dance floor, it's like, oh, this looks packed.
Yes. And it's just, it just feels better. And then, but some venues though, it's just so hard. Unfortunately, people building halls in the mid 1900s didn't think about they were just building the hall but they were like,
thinking about a community of people, not the party goers.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's called community center for a reason.
Exactly. It's a community center, but just locations of certain things is huge, right? Where you are as the DJ and the dance floor in relation to where the bar is, huge.
Yep.
Huge, because you can't. You're never going to beat the stand around and drink people.
Yes.
You're never going to beat them, especially if they're on the other side of the hall. If that bar that they're standing at, that they plan to stand at for the whole night, is right beside the dance floor, you have a chance.
Yes.
You had a chance. And then it's also less of a drive. Like some people legitimately need to take a drink break and need to pause and go get something like that. So,
yeah. So I generally think New Year's Eve socials have had a specific requirement, and the requirement is the prizes need to be good, the crowd needs to be good, and then the party needs to be good. And that all three has to work. On a regular social, the party doesn't have to be good. And the prizes, you can have two of the three, but not all three. But New Year's Eve party requires all three.
Yeah. No, it does.
Did you have a balloon drop in any of them?
We sure did have a balloon drop.
Yes.
Well, last year, New Year's, the balloon drop did not work.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and it was a really high ceiling, too. So, like, it broke the string, and then it was stuck up there. And we didn't know what to do. We had tall guys on stools and lifting people up. And yeah.
Midnight. How was your New Year's Eve? What did you do? It was I had a 6-foot guy lift me up.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like the pressure that people are like, well, you're going to do the balloon drop. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that because then I'm at fault.
I have enough pressure of making sure to watch the time and count you down.
Exactly. I also got all these other things going on, and they're like, no, you got to do it. I'm like, no, I'm less worried about all the responsibilities. I'm more that, like, if it doesn't work, then like, how fast do I pull this thing? Rip it. Take a long time.
Or am I going to be known as that guy who couldn't pull a string?
Exactly.
Properly?
Yeah, exactly. I don't mean known as that guy.
Even ruin the rest of the people's New Year's? Come on, no.
Yeah.
That's a lot pressure responsibility. But yeah, so it was good. Eldon came back at Eldon was texting me at 4:20. He's like 4:20, interesting.
4:22.
I remember that in time. He's like, dude, I just got back. I was falling in and out of sleep. I'm like, bro, how long did your party go till? It's like, apparently he had a good party too.
You
So
stay late. Yeah.
So
was
his
late.
was a part Filipino crowd and part Caucasian crowd. And it worked out great for him. So
It's a good area. That hall down there is really good. He had a good party.
good lands.
Good lands. The best lands.
The best. The bestest of lands.
The bestest of lands. What were you doing on New Year's, Hayden?
Sitting at home.
Did you make it to midnight?
Yep.
You look like the
Watched,
kind of you look at that kind of guy who was like, I was going to stay up till 4 a.m. anyway, or it's 9:30, and you're like, I'm out of here. Like one or the other.
No, I think it was like 1 a.m. when I went to bed.
Okay,
So
that's
I made
not
it to midnight. Basically just hung out at home.
You watch a movie? Did you
Watching hockey.
Did you have a countdown?
Not really, no. We were just watching the USA Canada game, and then other than that, we just hung out.
But that was much earlier.
Raged into New Year's Eve, New Year's Day of how horrible the hockey team was.
Hockey team is.
Salome and I went for dinner, came back, and then we're like, cool, we'll pop up on a Prosecco bottle at midnight.
Prosecco.
Cool. And then she's like, cool, I'll watch a movie. And then I was working on my computer. About 30 minutes later, she's passed the fuck out on the couch. I was like, cool, this is adulting right now. So I just left her sleeping and then went back to start working. Came back, 11:59, woke her up. Happy New Year. Cool. Perfect. She's like, are we opening a bottle? No, we're not opening a bottle. I'm not wasting the bottle right now. We're going to bed.
That's good.
That's how that went. But so we were supposed to do a party and that didn't happen. It was we had a lot of fun things planned at the fire hall. But we just couldn't, dude. Getting people to buy tickets, I've never thought it'd be so hard, but that was a lesson. It's buying tickets. Also, maybe because they didn't have a lot of time. A lot of people didn't know about it. So
it could have been a bit of a timing thing, but pre-sale stuff is.
I have a whole new level of respect for people who do festivals and things because the amount of marketing and advertising that needs to go to spread the word and to trust people to buy it. Well,
you kind of have to have some blind faith because I knew of a lot of people that were planning on going but that weren't buying tickets, and they were like, "Well, I was just gonna show up."
And the problem was it doesn't work like that.
Well, that's just kind of light. Like it's like planning
I think that's a whole of a Brennan thing or like a small town.
I just think it's people in general. Like even if it's like people could be planning to go to insert nightclub here in Winnipeg on New Year's Eve. But not like buy tickets or plan. They just want to show up. And then sometimes people are disappointed. They're like, what? Why is it full and I can't get in? But like, or other times it's, they're fine and it's not busy. And that's why I think as like people running events, you kind of just have to have blind faith sometimes. Like you put on the event just hoping and
people
say, hey, I did the advertising. I did my part.
And I think partly for us, it was also because we were doing the whole champagne thing. We were doing some food too. We needed numbers to be sure and didn't want to run out or have too much. So it was just that expectation.
No,
it's a small event. It was not like anybody can come in. It was like
you had a cap.
110 people.
Yeah,
cap.
You had a cap.
We had a cap to get there. So it was that. But hey, a lot of lessons learned, and I think next year we'll have a much better advantage knowing what we did. So I think, but yeah, as I said, like a whole level of respect for people throwing on festivals, spending a huge amount of money, like upfront because they have to advertise the artist on the ticket for people to buy it.
You have to pay the artist.
Yeah.
There's so many things that you have to do, and that's why like Hayden would be the first one to tell you he's worked on a couple festivals over the years, and the amount of BS in the background in terms of paying this or like cutting costs and this and that happens later is frustrating. But the reason why is because you have to shoot for the moon.
100%.
You said, okay, we're going to spend all this money, we're putting all this money towards it. And then when such and such artist falls through or you don't have the ticket sales and all of a sudden the money's not where it is. And then, and then guys like this who's supposed to be there to set up and it's frustrating. Like Like you could probably think of a couple examples of times where you've shown up and you're like, oh, that was not what I thought it was.
That's usually less of a problem for me because for festivals, I'm not really involved in any of like the planning or whatever. I'm not that experienced or high up yet. I usually just show up and set up whatever I'm told to set up. So
Yes.
it's, for me personally, it's never really affected
But I know
me
that
much,
you've heard a couple of like kind of background stories or like, you know, some response where, oh, this is supposed to happen. And like, this was not what I thought it was going to be. And it's, I think, disappointing for the event organizers, but again, it's the event business. It's what people got to get into.
And again, the amount of times we've talked about Summer of Sound and we're like, is it happening? Is it not happening? Is it a 2 day? Is it a 1 day? When is it happening? Like, and in the back in the back of your head, I think about it. I was like, I bet they're under a huge amount of stress right now because there's so much money at play and so much time, things to do within a certain amount of time. And they're all like figuring out stuff and dates and times and menus and people, and because there's so many variables involved with a music festival.
Yeah,
I can't. Yeah, it was just after figuring out throwing a small ass New Year's Eve party was how many moving parts there was. I couldn't imagine what a festival has. So
crazy.
Yeah, so
it's crazy.
It was that, but that didn't happen. So we just stayed home. Somebody was gonna come to the party too. She was like, I guess we're just staying home then. I was like, I guess we are.
That's good.
So
that's good.
In about 15 years of me doing this, I've stayed home twice on New Year's Eve. Pandemic year and this year.
Good work.
So
good work.
It was it worked out. So it was good.
Any overarching thoughts, plans, goals for the new year? Resolutions?
I genuinely think this year there's two things that we here in the company that we're thinking about, or I think we need to be thinking about is one, showcasing the personalities in here. Again, we do this, but there's so much more behind the scenes that we don't have. And I feel like they're all unique in their own ways. And I feel like I want to showcase them as much as possible too. It's not just us here and whatnot. So there's a lot of things. Again, people see Eldon at a party and they love him. And Eldon has a personality too. So we want to showcase that. And so is the videographers, and so is our, our staff. Like, it's just things like that I want to.
It's interesting to build brands within a brand, right? Like Eldon and myself and you and any of our kind of quote unquote performers. We're a DJ, but I consider myself a performer in some ways. Like we're running a party and we are a bit of a face in that regard,
personality
right? Personality. And so everybody has a different perception of certain people and us being able to build that and create relationships and bring business. It's interesting. So, I don't know. I like that. It's kind of like everything. Like people can know a business, but there's one person sometimes in the business that can drive that.
Actually, it applies to everything you've known. Think about it. Like it's more people driven. Businesses are more people driven than they're business driven.
Yep.
For example, any product you think of right now that you have in your hand, you could be like, okay, it's
That was a really subtle joke, and I'm glad that you got it. Everybody who's listening is like, what happened? Because they didn't see anything. Oh, gosh.
God. But like, okay, Apple, for example, you have your iPhone with you. On Twitter, Apple has something like 7 million followers. Tim Cook has 14 million followers. Same thing with Zuckerberg and Facebook. Like Zuckerberg more than Facebook.
Sure.
Right? And it's like, it's this thing where personalities, again, the amount of times we see influencer, Prime is Prime because of Logan Paul, is not because it's just Prime. Like there's a face behind it, right?
Celebrity.
Feastables, Mr. Beast is whatever.
Okay, so here, Nike. Here, let's learn about Nike. Nike stocks have dropped significantly this year. Okay? Their shoe sales are up. Shoe sales are higher than they have ever been. Okay. Why do you think things are maybe trending down for them? And the biggest thing, like everything's trending quote unquote down because things are so expensive, like goods and everything like that. But the biggest thing that they are attributing it to is independent brands, right? So 20 years ago, you as a celebrity or an athlete, your goal was to be sponsored.
Yeah.
or affiliated with one of these high level brands. Now, because of the way of the world, you just create your own
brand. Yeah.
Just do your own thing. And if people support you, they will follow you.
100%.
And if you go to Nike, then they'll follow you to Nike. And if they follow you to, Ronnie's really rad sneakers brand, Triple
100%.
R. Triple R.
Right.
Ronnie's really rads. I'm going to bring that up. And all they are is they're just a oversized pair of flip flops.
But that's the name of the game in the past 5, 10, 6 years now is primarily who you are as a person, and people need to relate to you as a person, and from there you build a brand, right? Again, like Emma Chamberlain created a coffee brand. She has nothing to do with coffee. But Emma Chamberlain's coffee brand is now worth like 35 million or something like that. It's like the girl that was just making YouTube videos. It's wild how much people relate to a personality than a brand, and anything you do, now the brand just follows wherever you go. It's and I guess there's a pros and cons to it. If you do anything wrong, you better believe that thing's tanking.
Well, that's why people typically the brand tanks less. It's the person that tanks, right? Because it's associated with them. But
yeah, I think going back to that conversation, I want to showcase more of the personalities here and the people here, and then just do more stuff. Again, more cool stuff. Like I want to do things that we see outside in the world happening, but we don't do it. And I just want to try our hands in it and try to do some stuff.
Just trying to, I think, give yourself more creative freedom this year. I would say is probably a big goal of yours. Yeah. I think any entrepreneur kind of gets in that mode of like kind of building more. And at some point you kind of need to put the brakes on that and like realize, okay, where am I going next? Because eventually there isn't more.
And I think more of managing it properly too is, again, the people in places right now that we have. Yeah. I think they will sort of, because my head is in the clouds imagining and envisioning all these things. And then I feel like if we focus on a couple things and we can have the right people in place, we can actually, see the positives come out of it and everything. So I think that's the goal. It's collectively, how can we better impact things that we're doing. So that'll be the motto for 2025.
How to impact
better.
Yeah, how to impact better.
Yo, that's it.
What?
Very all over.
That's it? I wanted to hear what Hayden wanted to do for 2022. I want to hear what I want to do. This selfish mofo over here.
Just shut it right there.
All right, we're done.
Okay. We're done.
Hayden,
what's your plan for 2025?
What do you want to do for 2025? I've had lots of conversations with you about this year already, like in this previous year. So I want to know.
I haven't seen Hayden since last year, so.
Oh gosh.
You saw me yesterday.
This is great.
Saw me on New
There's
Year's
a YouTube. They're primarily a YouTube group, but called Auntie Donna. It is a bit, and it's like a part of their live show. It's like introducing the guy who's December 31st is his favorite day of the year, and it's like, all right, man, good to saw you. He's like, see you later. And then he goes like, I'll see you next year. And he's just like, wait, he makes the joke aggressively. What? What are you talking about? I don't know, but I'll see you next year every time. Yeah, he makes that joke every year.
Yes.
Every year.
What's your plan for 2025?
I wouldn't say I have any like big overarching
Tell us about your vision board, Hayden.
Resolutions or anything, but I don't know. I've got a few
vision board.
Like personal videos that I'm like video project ideas that I want to flesh out and get done. And then
thank you for clarifying personal video projects rather than personal videos. Thank you.
I don't think any of us went there.
I definitely went there. I saw him pause a little bit too. He realized that it might have been construed that way.
Only coming to
Exactly.
Yo, we can't say only on podcasts. We'll get our algorithms will. I think there's a few words you can't say that'll get your view count or your the algorithm won't push the podcast more because it analyzes all the words that you say. So we can't say certain words in there.
Can't say only.
Yeah. Or fans.
No, but those, I understand.
So,
and then other than that, I guess I need to actually go hard into learning music production. It's always been something that I've been interested in, but just never really like gave a good effort for. But I agreed to make an EP by July with somebody else. So I should
cool.
probably
That's neat.
get deep into that pretty soon.
Let's go.
That is neat. That's neat. Yeah, I think
the album EP produced by, they'll say Hayden Yuri. That's cool.
Well, I think you guys are in very different spots, but you kind of saying, hey, I need to back off and do some more like less work, more fun, I think is Ronnie's.
Sure.
It's got to be Ronnie's thing.
Work that is fun.
Well, yes, but at the same time, you've worked your butt off and have not had, I think, time for yourself for a couple things, and that's fine.
New Year's Eve.
And AKA New Year's Eve. And not that Hayden doesn't want to have a lot of fun, but like you kind of just said before this, is like, hey, I need to buckle down and do some stuff. And that's also cool.
I don't know. That's the thing is I think for me personally, I find just creative things fun. So it's like if I'm spending my time making music or making videos or whatever.
Like my jobs too. Like people all the time are like, man, you're such a social butterfly. Look at you, extrovert you. No one says it like that, but I never had that conversation. Oh, is that an extrovert over there?
You're like, I don't know where that came from. I've never said that before. Nobody ever said that before.
No one says that. But like I honestly don't have a robust social life. But all of my jobs are social. Right? I work with people nonstop and in very interactive ways. So I kind of scratch that social itch through doing these sorts of things, which I appreciate, right? Like if I can be paid to do things that I enjoy, I guess that's the whole
point of
life. Yeah. Oh, wow, full circle. But at the same time, there's bills to pay and there's different things you need to do. But, you know, if you can, turn some of your more creative passions into feasible ways to survive and live and do those things. That's always nice. It's always nice.
So that's your goal for 2025?
No, that's just I would say that's what I do. But I would say I need to get better at time management. As I get more responsibilities and do different things, I need to just be a little bit more on things, less less gallivanting around, less scrolling.
Less scrolling.
Less scrolling. We can all agree on that. Less scrolling. Yeah. Jeez. You at home. Stop scrolling.
Dude, I've turned on screen time on my phone, my laptop, my desktop. Like everything has screen time now. And the amount of times I spend away from any of the, I guess, quote unquote productivity apps, as per the apps go, anything that's email, anything that's not email, browser or whatever, like I looked at my screen time on Instagram, I think a month ago. Something stupid. For a week, it was like 13 hours on Instagram. It was just like, I spent 13 hours
I don't want to air your dirty laundry here.
That's crazy.
Ronnie, but you know why? Because you're taking too many poops. This guy, we can all agree to it. I'm going to put it all out there. We can end the. This is going out to the world, Ronnie.
Listen.
You're listening.
My poop time is my time.
Okay.
Right?
Well, it also becomes everybody else's time because you share absurd amounts of reels with people, and it's always when you're on the bathroom.
I am sorry. I'm thinking about you while I'm on the bathroom.
I don't apologize. You don't need to apologize for that.
I thought I was doing something. I'm like, look, this is something. You know how hard it is to actually understand people's personalities and send only those reels to those personalities?
Man, I love your reels
during my free time, which is on the toilet. How dare you question me?
If you want to call that efficiency, good for you, man. If you want to call that, you know what? I'd rather do it now while I'm voiding.
You're cut off from my reel sending queue. You're cut off. You are absolutely cut off.
I'm cut off from your reels.
You are not getting reels no more.
Well, guess what? My screen time just went down.
In the anymore because I didn't send you any more reels.
My screen time just went down.
That makes sense. This is why you've been ignoring all my reels. Not a single reaction, not a single heart, not a single smiley face, nothing. I'm like, and I'm here sending you reels that I think would be very interesting to you.
They're great. They're great.
You know what? I didn't expect to go into 2025 hurt, but I am hurt.
He's hurt.
I am terribly hurt.
Just saying.
You've lost your reel receiving privileges, sir.
You've lost a privilege. It. Watch, he's gonna cave. He's gonna see. This guy is such a habit. He's such a habit. He's gonna cave. He's gonna see something. He's like, oh, that's for Joey.
No,
that's a Joey. That's a Joey reel.
No, won't see that no more.
And he's on the toilet, so he's making those noises anyway. Oh!
Okay, can we not talk about my poop time anymore?
Just let me know.
God.
Gosh.
I guess that's the way to end it. Ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 17. What does your 2025 look like? Let us know in the comments. Rate it on Spotify. Rate the Spotify podcast on Spotify, please.
Okay.
5-star. And then, subscribe if you're watching it on YouTube. Definitely helps.
Okay, this is
spread the word. But
last little bit here. I want with the new year, I wanted to potentially switch things up.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, it's not necessarily a bad thing. We can keep things the same.
Mm-hmm.
We can keep things the same. But Joey's unique way of saying coffee.
Oh yes, we're not switching that.
Are we? We don't have to.
Okay, good.
But eventually, we're going to have to figure out avenues of way. I just want to know how you want me to approach this, because I can start getting ridiculous. Because we are running out of logical, relatively meaningful ways of saying coffee. So I can either choose either a different beverage or a different food product, different ways to say that, or I can continue with the unique way of saying coffee. But just
I think we had this conversation about 10 minutes ago, Joey. I think 2025 is a year of creative freedom. So I think that'll answer your question. You have full creative freedom.
Wow.
And what you would like to do.
Wow. Joey's unique way of saying coffee. First one of 2025. The Cup of Black Abyss.
Whoa.
No one knows what's in there.
Oh.
All I know is when I drink it.
Oh, I feel good.
I feel real good.
It sounds like it should be a metal album.
Metal album. Cup of Black Abyss. See you next time. Cut out.